Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crew 616. We're going to be doing a little bit of a conversation over a movie called Brightburn. Today, I'm here with Bill. Say hello, Bill.
Hello.
And
We are
Ryan.
going to be showing everyone why Dan is wrong.
And
Hi, I'm Ryan. We are going to be doing just that.
And these two little Judases that are with me today are going to try and convince me that Brightburn's not a good movie. I don't know why, considering some of the
Because
crap
it's not a
they
very
watch.
good movie?
Considering some of the shite you guys feed yourselves, you're going to try and tell me this isn't a good movie.
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to tell you
God.
it's a mediocre movie, but
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not terrible, but it could have been way better.
I mean,
You were going to start off with something really simple. I enjoyed the movie. I liked the concept. I'd always wanted to see somebody step up and do, not a villain film, but an anti-superhero film. I think they're two very different things in my mind. And the fact that it was James Gunn certainly drew me to the film in the first place. Right. I thought, well, okay, if anybody can do this, he can. Right. I did expect it to be a little more off the wall since it was him, but it wasn't. I thought they did a lot of really good things with this concept. But before we go any further, just for anybody listening, we're not trying to tell you to watch or not watch the film. Spoiler alert, obviously, but, if you choose to watch it, that's your decision. We're not going to try and tell you one way or the other. We're just giving an opinion. And who wants to start throwing arrows at me first?
I might as well.
Oh, great.
My biggest complaint
Go ahead,
with
Judas.
my biggest complaint with Brightburn wasn't that anything about it was particularly awful,
Okay.
but just every time that production crew had a choice to make, it seemed like they chose the lesser option. And so it doesn't quite hit on any of the marks that it could have. Like, going into it, the way I see it, they could have had 3 paths they could have taken that would have made it really work as a movie.
Okay.
They could have made it kind of a tragedy where you got really attached to Brandon before he got the command to take the world and turned evil. And so then you felt bad about losing him, like losing his humanity and turning to evil. They could have really got you attached to the parents and done it as like a psychological horror.
Yes.
Which they also didn't do. Or they could have gone full slasher film and just had a whole bunch of spectacular deaths at the hands of anti-Superman.
So what you're
But
saying
they
is
kind of copped out on that too, because there's only like 3 or 4 really good deaths in the movie, and then there's a couple of quick or mostly off-screen ones.
Yeah. So what you're saying is basically he subverted everybody's expectations by not doing the usual crap. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but subverting the expectations can be good. The problem is he didn't do anything to give you any sort of emotional connection to the movie.
Well, he didn't do anything to give you any emotional connection to the boy. I will concede that, because
yeah, that's a big issue.
Probably the only real issue I had with the film was when they were filming it, they didn't at any point capitalize on the potential conflicted boy, right? Where the environment he's being raised in, where his parents are very kind, very generous, very understanding, patient, right? Trying to bring out the best in him, doesn't conflict with his decision to not go that route. He gets picked on, he gets pushed around, he gets pissed off, and he just starts taking revenge. He discovers he can get revenge, and he does. Right? So they didn't really, there was no conflict between the good and the bad inside of him.
Yeah,
There was no yin and yang there. That was a problem.
I also found like that wasn't necessarily a problem, because it could have worked if it was really focused on his parents. But I also found like I didn't really have any attachment to his parents either. They were just kind of cookie cutter good parents, but I didn't really find that I knew anything about them as people.
I don't know if I'm entirely willing to agree with that part, because they're cut from the same cloth as Ma and Pa Kettle there that raised Superman.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing. It's a childless couple who
Except idiots.
Well, they wanted a child. They never had one. It had clearly become a source of conflict between them. And when a child shows up and they're not sure what to do, they like they do in the comic books, make the decision to raise the child as their own. And you do see a lot of moments, through the beginning of the film where, they are attempting to connect with him as he's growing. They are attempting to be good parents, make right decisions for him. They are protective of him as best they can be within that kind of an environment. All right. I don't think they did anything wrong, and I really didn't find them in any way particularly two-dimensional. I thought they were pretty much the only problem I had with the parents was the father's decision, in the movie to shoot him in the head.
Yeah,
right? It just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, he knows the boy is bad, but he doesn't. I don't know. It's just his approach to trying to solve the problem.
Yeah, that was a weird escalation from this loving father beforehand to, I'm going to just kill my son.
Well, the bigger reason it doesn't work, the underlying reason it also doesn't work, is because he literally has acknowledged early in the film that his son's never fucking bled before. And then he knows, like, to an extent that he's indestructible and shit, and he just tries to simply shoot him. So,
well, that decision didn't bother me as much as just the fact that, like, outside of these are good parents who wanted a kid and found one, like, there was no conflict, and we never saw them outside of their relationship with Brandon, really, once he was in the picture. So I didn't know anything about them as people outside of in the role of Brandon's parents. So it was really hard to get any sort of emotional connection to them. Because I felt like their role was entirely tied to Brandon, and I didn't give a shit about Brandon.
Yeah, I think I can disagree with that slightly as a parent, because it's amazing how forgiving you can be with your children. You do tend to overlook a lot of things raising a child. You can especially see it in the mother's reaction to the fact that Brandon's clearly gone rogue, and she doesn't want to acknowledge it. She doesn't want to admit it. This is her child. This is something she's wanted forever in her adult life. And, when she finally got it, it was like being handed the Holy Grail. She finally had a child of her own. And to give up on that, to just finally give up on that, it's not until the end of the movie that she finally breaks and gives in to the fact that this little monster is not the child she wanted him to be. And and James Gunn talked about this himself when he was making the film. It was nature versus nurture, and can we apply humanity's concepts of right and wrong to someone who isn't actually human? Right? They do it with Superman. Superman's shiny, perfect, guy with his little curly Q in his head, who decides he's going to save the world from itself. Whereas his boy, who was, according to the lore within the film, was actually sent there to destroy the world, give his people a chance, something to take over.
Yeah, he's a weapon.
He's a weapon, nothing more.
That's what triggers it. The ship is directing him to do evil.
Yeah, and that's why I was okay with his lack of conflict, because he was a weapon. If they then really, gave me a reason to care about his parents,
I suppose.
But they didn't really, they didn't do much with the psychological torment of the parents coming to terms with their having to deal with their own child either. They just kind of showed you the results of both of them reaching the decision, but you don't really see a lot of them agonizing over it ahead of time. Like his father is just
They
all
don't
of a
even.
sudden, I'm going to shoot my kid in the head, and the mother
and yes,
refuses to see the bad side of him, and then she
Until it's too
finally
late.
comes to terms with it. But you don't really go on this journey to coming to terms with her. She just
I don't
has
know.
done it.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know that I agree. I agree with the father part. Yes, his transition to, okay, this kid's got to go, is pretty sudden and not particularly sensible. But I felt fairly empathetic towards the mother and her problems and her having to deal with the fact that she wants him to be a good boy. She wants to, she's trying to not admit the truth because she doesn't want to admit the truth. She doesn't want to acknowledge that he isn't what she's been hoping he would be forever, right? And I really felt that they did a good job on the mother's part. They did no justice to the father at all, right? They just didn't. I don't feel like the father was given any opportunity to do more than be the usual dad that gets ignored in films. But I guess what I'm trying to say in the end, and this is my first shot across the bow for you guys, is one thing James Gunn didn't do, which he's notorious for, and which most Hollywood filmmakers are notorious for, is have the characters do something really, really stupid to move the plot forward. You didn't have...
That's this whole movie.
You didn't have Star-Lord punching Thanos in the face half a second before they get the glove off his hand, or the usual bullshit, right? They just played this very linear. And because of that, it's very different from what most people are used to in a film. There's no morons doing stupid things to forward the
What
plot.
movie did you watch?
This is just simply, this kid gets bullied, right? His parents are trying to raise a good child. Kid gets bullied for obvious reasons, and he gets pissed off, and he discovers this is what he is. He's here to destroy the world, and he destroys the world. Much again, his parents discover they've failed. And it didn't have the usual stupid superhero movie bullshit. Sorry.
I actually agree with that point.
Right.
I don't think anyone made particularly stupid decisions inside the movie. The stupid decisions I felt were on the hands of the production team that took the lesser option anytime they had a chance to present something interesting.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Most of the characters in this movie are fucking idiots. They make terrible choices throughout the whole movie.
I don't think so.
The parents don't
agree.
talk to each other at all about the issues going on.
Dude, of course they don't. Of course they don't, because the father knows and the mother doesn't want to admit it.
They can't also, because then if they did, then there would be a solution.
Yeah, and see that's what I put. That's what I put
to
under
either kill the kid or to actually help him be good.
They're trying to help him be good through the entire first half of the film.
Yeah, and that's what I put under the failing
that's
of
what the movie's about.
That's what I put under the failing of the, particularly the script, because I got that's what they were doing, but I didn't really it was the paint by number points you would have in that story of, okay, here's the parents trying to be good. They didn't ever do anything interesting with it. If they had a scene, because it was pretty obvious the father was less trusting of the alien than the mother, and that's why he was willing to shoot him in the head.
Yeah,
but that's all extrapolation. If they had actually had a scene in the movie where he expressed those doubts, are you sure this is a good idea?
Well, for all the stupid people watching the movie who couldn't extrapolate that for themselves.
It would have given me emotional connection to them, because it's the sort of questioning you would have had. It would have made it less jarring when he's just he went from good father to I'm going to shoot the kid in the head.
Yeah, and again, I don't disagree with that one particular point. But I mean, it is a paint by numbers movie in that it plays out in a very linear fashion. There's no the conflicts that do come up are conflicts that are pretty generic to these kind of films.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Just
it's not
the characters
only linear, it's also predictable. Like, I pretty much knew where it was going from the moment it started.
Well, absolutely. That was kind of the point of the film. Was, is this kid going to be good or bad? Oh, look, he's going to be bad. They telegraph it, even in the previews, that this kid, they can't control this kid, and he's gone rogue.
And then they don't give me anything interesting along his journey to going rogue, nor do they give me any real, visceral payoff, because they could have gone to full slasher movie route.
He asked for help in the end.
They could have gone the whole slasher movie route, where, you don't give a shit about any of the real participants. Your payoff is just the visual excitement of the kills. And they didn't really... They had, the first kill in the diner was good.
Well, the lead up to it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good...
Wasn't.
That was a cool scene. And the scene where he just nuked the cop on the doorstep by flying into him really, really fast, and he's just gone.
Just vaporizes him, yeah.
Yeah, that one was cool. But other than that, they didn't even really give any, slasher movie-style payoffs to this film.
Well, I don't think they wanted to. I really don't.
No, but they didn't... That's what I'm saying. They didn't give you any sort of emotional payoff. It was just a very predictable story that chugged along. Nothing was done particularly poorly, but there was nothing interesting about it either.
And I think the fact that it even existed is what I found interesting. I think it was a matter of, try and put this in words. I think it was a matter of playing on the trope of, again, nature versus nurture, genetics versus environment, where, the environment, loving parents, a safe home, just isn't enough to break the programming of, what is meant to be a world-wrecking creature, somebody that's going to destroy the world. And there are triggers that happen, the little girl that keeps picking on him, blah, 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 blah. And then the uncle, who a little nod to Superman #1, where he just destroys the car that the uncle's in just by, crushing it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of nods to the Superman film, or the Superman story in here. But they just, again, didn't go off on the usual ridiculous tangents that you get in these kind of movies. And that's why I like it. It didn't have the usual stupid freaking tropes that go along with every superhero movie. This is an origin story that didn't work, is basically what it is. And this time there's no Superman to help us. It's over. We're dead. He's sent to take our world. They telegraph that a lot even in the school when they're talking about bees versus wasps. Right?
Yeah, it's the most obvious foreshadowing.
They kind of
ever seen.
Are you serious? Are you really serious? Because you just wait until we start talking about Marvel movies if we want to talk about obvious freaking foreshadowing. Oh my God, the crap that I've watched coming out of Marvel over the last 2 years, 3 years, and you're gonna suggest this was the most obvious?
Oh, it's one of them.
Oh God.
It telegraphs it telegraphs the story.
Looking for something that wasn't meant to be there in the first place. The movie was just simply James Gunn and I believe his brothers.
Yeah, it was his brother and I think his cousin.
His brother and his cousin are the ones who actually wrote it.
Yeah. And
James Gunn just gave him the money.
Yeah, they sat down
and they were clearly the less talented Guns.
Exactly.
Right. They came up with a story of, a potential Superman origin story where Superman just doesn't turn good. Like that, the world, as we know it, and the people in the world, and the parents that he gets are not enough to stop the transition from, transition into a world-destroying creature. Right?
Yeah,
this is what would happen if Superman doesn't...
That is a story. It could be interesting, but as they presented it, it wasn't.
Oh, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I did.
Yeah.
I sat back. I watched it. but it was a story that we hadn't been given for so freaking long. Right?
And part of
it's
it
part of
might
the
be
reason
that
I
I've
think
read
that,
a lot of the comics. I've seen the Superman origin goes bad, done
Done better.
multiple times. And so to get this
Granted, but-
flaccid, disappointing paint by numbers version of it,
kind
it
of like
was-
I'm sorry, I'm biting back a number of comments. But I really did enjoy it. That's all I'm trying to say. I felt like they didn't do a lot of the stuff that people have come to expect in films, which was nice. There were a lot of things that didn't happen that made it actually worth watching. And again, one of them being that most of the characters weren't making stupid decisions to forward the plot. You know, it was, to me personally, that was nice. You know, it was like, you know, could I sit through another Spider-Man origin? No, I was getting sick and tired. Uncle Ben, just fucking die, please, get it over with, right? You know, it's just, you know, the characters just struck me as slightly more real, slightly more human. And the boy, Brandon, struck me as a victim.
A little shit.
Of his antecedents, his origins. He was sent there to destroy the world. That was the whole point. Get rid of the creatures on it so that they can come and take it over. And nothing we could do, nothing we were capable of doing could stop that. At no point where was humanity able to convince him otherwise. And that is something that, to be fair, has occasionally tweaked in my brain watching Superman movies. It's like, you watch these Superman movies, and apparently we're such a wonderful species that Superman has decided he's going to protect us all because we're so amazing. It's like, no, we're not. We're assholes. We're fucking jerks. We run around killing each other all the time. Right? We fight with each other constantly. I mean, how long is, how many
just figured out that day in
planet's
Steve
history have we not had a war going on somewhere? There's a war going on in the world right now. There's always, conflict and transgression and pain and suffering. And, Superman comes and goes, oh, but if you look at them, their soul is good. Thank you, Dr. Fucking Who. Yes, I know. You always come to London because you like Britain, you like biscuits, you like tea. Okay? You're protecting Earth because you think we're so much greater than the sum of our parts. Right? This is what Superman's all about. This is what Captain America's all about. They're greater than the sum of their parts. And the truth is, no, we're not. And this little shit shows up and goes, no, I'm not saving these assholes. They're pricks. Fuck them. Fuck them all. Boom. Right? I didn't agree with the rifle scene. I just didn't. I really didn't like it. But I did like the environment versus genetics conversation as it plays out. I like the fact that the parents are sensible. They're within reason. They're fairly normal. They're not super squeaky clean parents. They're just two people who got a chance to finally be parents and are trying so hard. And when the father cracks, he knows the mother isn't going to accept, that he's going to do this because she's not accepting it from the very beginning. So he tries and fails because he's an idiot. That part I agree with. But the mother, right up until the bitter end, doesn't want to give in. She doesn't want to admit that her little boy has gone bad. And there are a lot of mothers out there in the world right now with kids in jail who are sitting there trying desperately hard to acknowledge that, maybe my parenting wasn't that good. Maybe this kid did turn bad. I don't know. I just felt very empathetic towards the mother. I felt the film really, really.
You're
just
one of the only ones.
It kind of went from A to B to C, got it done. Boom. Without a lot of the crap that you usually get affiliated with these kind of movies. That's where I stand. You guys are wrong and I'm right. I'm better looking than both of you anyway. Clearly. Right? That much is obvious to anyone listening. So, yeah, there you go.
Because they can see us now.
Oh, they don't need to see us. They can just tell.
I don't know. There's a lot with this movie. Bill kind of touched on it before, but a big problem with this movie is there should have been more to show us some good in Brandon, like get us to know Brandon more before he just got summoned by the ship like that. And then it should have been more of a tragedy.
Yeah.
It should have been more of a tragedy, so we actually gave a fuck about what was going on. Because I don't know what there really was to, like, I don't know. For myself, I just wanted to see them kill the little shit. So I don't really. It should have been set up better, in my opinion. It got to the plot too fast.
Yeah, I think in your case, Dan, you're bringing in a lot of your experience as a parent that a lot of viewers of the movie, us included, don't have.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's why you feel the way you do about the mother, because most people hate the mother's choices in this movie.
No, I don't disagree with a single choice she makes.
Yeah, and that's what I think a better filmmaker could have made people who don't have the experience themselves of being a parent still relate to her experience as a parent.
Well,
but this movie doesn't do that. So,
yeah,
like,
James Gunn's not exactly,
no, and honestly, giving the blame
world
to James Gunn in this case isn't really fair because he was just the executive producer.
True, but he was very, very heavily involved in the film. Right, he openly admits that he helmed this from start to finish.
Okay, then it is fair to give it to James Gunn. I've only seen the credits where he's just listed as the producer, and usually they don't have a lot of involvement.
Yeah. Oh no, he was the one in every interview talking about the film. Right. So, but and I mean, you're right. A lot of people that aren't parents really wouldn't emphasize with the mother or the father.
No, everybody hates her.
And that's the thing. I think in a good movie, the fact that I don't have the same experience as her doesn't matter because the movie gives me her experience.
Probably to a point, but I mean, I can't imagine. Having watched The Omen and the god-awful remake, I didn't empathize with those parents.
No, neither did I.
Yeah. But I do empathize with Elizabeth in this one. Yeah, I really think she did okay.
Well,
I
still stand by that. There's a lot of stupid choices made in this movie. So I think the smartest characters are probably the friggin' little girl Caitlin and the sheriff. The sheriff's the one that starts putting together that he's that Brandon's the one doing this shit probably sooner than everybody.
Well,
before he gets blown to smithereens.
Before he gets tackled.
Which is one of the greatest kills in the.
Yeah,
movie.
that was the single best moment in the entire movie. When the sheriff just got nuked off the porch.
I like Noah's kill a little more, but I think the sheriff's kill being so out of nowhere was fantastic.
It was a nice subversion on the normal horror movie elaborate kills that he doesn't get an elaborate kill. He's just gone.
But that's one of the things this movie actually does the best is the kills, in my opinion, because Noah's kill was fantastic visual of the jaw just being completely ripped off his face. The shock and kill of the sheriff. The lead up in the diner is pretty good, even if it's unrealistic. In terms of like, she wouldn't be her vision. She wouldn't be like her vision just wouldn't be red from the one eye she had glass in and everything.
No, but that was still a cool look.
But it was cool visuals and it was fun. The kill itself at the end, the jump cut kill, was kind of dumb, but it was fine. And
I like that where he just comes forward and then it's left to your imagination.
It's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
It's cool that we get to see her body later, near the end, and then. The mother's kill was pretty good. The father's kill was really good. It was cool to see the laser beams.
I thought that was a really boring, like, super routine one.
Well, it had to happen at some point. It was expected.
Yeah, I know, but
it was just like, look, oh, it's the laser eyes, so it's cool to see them finally. But I mean, it's not a special kill. It was expected.
Yeah.
He was gonna laser eyes somebody at some point.
It was another part of the paint by numbers element of this movie. You have a Superman analog, of course you have to use the heat vision.
Well, it's a copycat of his powers, so.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, it was another one of the cases of them just taking the easy, obvious choice instead of doing something interesting. I liked him nuking the sheriff off the porch because it was interesting. You expect when you're watching any sort of a horror movie to get elaborate, gory kills, and this one's just over in an instant.
This one almost relies on them too much. They kind of use them, and they use some of these moments in the trailers to get people in the theater and everything.
Well,
so.
Yeah, they used them as a crutch away from the fact that there was very little actual plot
Substance.
in this movie.
Any very little substance to actually make you care about what's happening.
Yeah.
I was laughing for like the first half hour or so of this movie, because this movie would have been like a 9 out of 10 if it was like a satirical take on, if it was a full-on satirical take on, like, I don't know how to explain it. If it was a full-on satirical take on against superhero movies or whatever, it would have been fantastic.
Yeah, they tried to do drama without putting any actual drama into it.
Yeah, well, that's what this, to me, that's what this movie is. This movie is dropping the ball 101. It does. It's got a great concept, and it has a great concept, but doesn't execute it well at all.
That's exactly what I think. Like, this had so much potential to be a truly great movie, and every single time they could make a choice about what are they going to do with it, they took the safe, boring option.
Yep.
Yeah, instead of going, oh, let's do something really stupid so the plot will move forward.
Yeah.
Well, just giving like an actually good family drama where the alien is involved and then he goes evil, and like cut back on the number of kills. Just have it being
There's not
the
that
trauma
many
to the
kills.
family, as this kid doesn't turn out to be what they wanted,
You guys
would work way better.
You guys hid that I'm an alien from me?
Like, that would actually be a movie I would want to watch.
Not me.
Instead, they just took the lazy slasher movie out.
Well, the thing
in a
is,
movie
to get the movie that you guys wanted it to be would mean sitting through God knows how many tedious hours of Marvel TV shows over the last year to get that crap. Because that's what you get in the Marvel TV shows. Is what you guys are looking for. This is constant conflict, and it's just like, again, I just feel like the movie, it does have problems. I'm more than willing to admit it. I really didn't like the arc with the father at all. Right? I thought the arc with the mother was, played out just the way I figured it should. Right? I thought the Brandon, the boy, his arc played out exactly as I expected it to. But I just felt there wasn't a lot of that annoying chaff that comes with these things. The stuff you guys wanted that you thought would make it better.
To care about the main character, I don't know.
No, you're not.
That doesn't seem
know.
like a big ask to actually care about some of the characters in the
To
movie.
care about a majority of the characters? I don't care about any of the characters here.
That's
Like,
no
really?
different than watching a Marvel movie.
Besides the uncle.
Care about
The
any
uncle's
of them?
great.
Yeah, the uncle
Yeah.
was the best realized character in that.
The uncle was the best character, and he's just a hilarious guy anyway. He's a great actor.
I don't.
I mean, the aunt makes terrible decisions too. Like when she's sitting there, when
And
she's
making
doing
terrible
the fair.
decisions isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, if the characters made the same bad decisions, but they had given me a reason to care about them beforehand, then I'd be invested in them getting a good outcome despite their making bad decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to concede, because for me, I had the same experience watching Doctor Strange. I couldn't have given a flying crap about a single character in that movie. No, the only one that has any particular appeal to him at all is Wong, and he's the comic relief. The rest of the characters are all annoying. You don't find yourself caring about any of them. I can't
Are you
believe the
talking
movie.
about the new one or the original one?
The original.
Okay,
Right.
good. Because I was going to say I haven't seen the new one, so I
No,
have not.
no, I'm just talking about the original Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the original was pretty boring.
It was, to me, it was just people fumbling around doing the wrong thing to further the plot. None of the
I did
characters
not
were
care
likable.
about that movie at all either. So
None of the characters were likable. They just weren't.
it had good special effects, but that was about it.
Yeah, the special effects were really, really good. I have to
I mean, the
concede.
best character in the movie was the fucking cape.
Yes. But I mean, I enjoyed Venom more than Doctor Strange.
Same here.
Fuck.
Oh, did we hit a nerve?
Only major problem with Venom was that it started twice.
Yes. It did. That is a problem. But I did enjoy Venom, the film, better, but way far more than I enjoyed Doctor Strange.
Oh, same here.
I can't really agree or disagree with that fully because I don't remember enough of Venom, so I'd have to watch it again.
Well, Venom, they cut out a lot of the usual window dressing that you get with Marvel movies and just kind of, again, told a very straightforward story. Right. They had some good actors in it, which really definitely helped.
Venom was some of the most fun I've had in a superhero movie for a long time.
Exactly. I really respect the incredible amount of effort that they put into the first three phases of the MCU. The work and the time and the money they put into making these films was stunning. Just staggering. I respect the amount of work that they put into Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. But they dropped the ball in Lord of the Rings so many times. And yet I was willing to forgive it because they were trying to stay true to the story. It wasn't until, the end of the film that they really, really dropped the ball so hard that it ruined everything for me. But in this movie, I just personally don't think they really dropped the ball. They may not have gone to their full potential of what they could have done. They could have added a lot of drama, which they didn't. And I was happy with that. I was content with that. Right. I felt they did get the story from getting bogged down. But that's just a personal thing.
Yeah, I think for me, it boils down to, if you're going to do such an obvious, predictable version of the story, why am I going and actually watching you do it? I could have told you that was going to happen without wasting the 2 hours watching the movie.
Make me care. Make there be stakes.
Oh, Muffin. You didn't care?
Like you
No.
cited Venom as
Why should
another
I?
very straightforward, predictable, almost anti-superhero movie. And I'd agree with that. But I loved Venom because they made me care about Eddie.
To a point, they did. Yeah. I didn't hate him.
Yeah, I was invested in what happened to Eddie before he became Venom. So then when he became Venom, I was already invested in how this was going to play out. Whereas here, I didn't care about Brandon, and I didn't care about his parents. So when he turned evil, I'm like, okay, he's evil now.
And see, that's the thing. It wasn't Eddie that I like so much in the film, because Eddie's a jackass.
Oh yeah, he's a jackass.
He's a scum of the earth. But the side characters, Dan, his ex-girlfriend, even the lady who runs the little corner shop, all these characters are very likable. And that's what made the movie for me was it wasn't popular. Like, say, Guardians of the Galaxy, which is populated, which is wall-to-wall, despicably unpleasant, creatures. It's impossible to like anybody. Right. And, in Venom, there were a lot of people I liked. In Brightburn, there were some people I empathized with.
Yeah, and that's
Right,
the thing.
which
I
you
don't
guys
need to
clearly
like
did.
the character to care about them. Like, you're right, Eddie was scum of the earth. I didn't like Eddie. He was a dirtbag.
Yeah.
But I was interested in what was going to happen to him.
Yes, that is true. Right. And again, like I say, I empathize. And you're right, Bill. I think, being a parent, and again, a single parent, I can empathize to a point with the mother a great deal more, I think, than most people could. I don't empathize with the father at all in this film. Right. His story arc's the one piece of the film that I felt they really just completely dropped the ball on. Right. Just didn't do very well on it. But I had a great deal of empathy for the mother. I understood her motives. I understood why she did what she did. It made sense to me. But that's as a parent.
Michael Rooker did great in this movie.
I knew you were going to bring up Michael Rooker. It was just a matter of bloody time.
The sad part about this is, I didn't think this was like that good of a movie, like at all. In fact, I'm probably going to shock you guys and have the lowest rating later, but like...
The Michael Rooker saves it in the edit.
Michael Rooker and the teases that there could be more is actually pretty interesting. I would watch more of this universe.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't love this movie. I don't even know if Okay, I enjoyed watching this movie a lot, but not for the reasons I should have.
Oh, that's fair. And you're right. As they're closing out the film, Michael Rooker's part shows Rainn Wilson's super.
Yeah.
In a photo, there's what potentially could be the Martian Manhunter.
They're teasing a whole Injustice League in quotes.
They are.
Basically, every key member was featured
in one form or another. That's true.
They tease an evil Aquaman that sounds interesting because he's like eating people and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, evil Wonder Woman.
Oh, chick strangling everybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think she was mind controlling people or something like that.
Yeah, she was mind controlling and strangling people.
Is that
bad? And then there was an evil cyborg, I believe, too.
Is that bad?
I kind of forgot about him like the DCEU did.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's cold. That's just so cold. After all this has been said and done, I don't disagree with you guys at all. You are right on most things you said, in my opinion. You have points and they're valid. You have some points that I don't agree with, but I think this is a life experience having me come at the film with a very different sense of expectation. Right, you guys were looking for something that you didn't get. I went to the movie, found something that I did look for.
Yeah, you just wanted evil Superman.
I did.
And you got it. I'm like, if they're going to do evil Superman, they need to make it interesting because it's been done before.
Yeah, well, you see, I haven't read the evil Superman comics.
That's the difference.
And that's the difference right there.
Because, and
this is...
I have a point I want to make. Because
How dare you?
No, shush. Shush. Nobody wants to know what you think, Ryan. Shut up. Stop laughing. Stop it. Wait for it. No, I do have the point I want to make is your reaction to Brightburn versus my reaction to Brightburn is kind of the mirror version of my reaction to Logan versus your guys' reaction to Logan. I went into Logan with no real knowledge of any of that particular storyline, that run of Wolverine. And I watched this movie, and it was just tedious. Oh, it made no sense. I don't know who was the freaking vampire guy that couldn't go out in the sun? Where does he fit? Yeah, where does he fit in? I never even heard of him before, and I don't know what his point.
Yeah, they dropped the ball with introducing Caliban because in the comics he's an albino, and the sun just burns him almost instantly because he has no pigment.
So he's not a vampire.
He's not a vampire. He just burns really easily. But they
don't really know where you thought he was a vampire, honestly. But
well, that's how they play him.
Dropped the ball on explaining anything about him. They just assumed you came in with comic knowledge, and
they really did.
It's a mutant movie.
Well,
yeah, but that doesn't mean people have seen all the comics, Ryan.
Yeah, and that's
I'm just saying it's a mutant movie. That's why I wouldn't assume he's a vampire.
Yeah, the movie made very little sense to me. I actually got more sense out of the New Mutants than I did out of Logan.
I haven't seen New Mutants, so I can't
okay.
compare.
That's
Yeah, I can't comment on that either. So
Right, but I
feel like that's probably. I
feel
like I would
that's
argue against that if
probably
I
a
had seen it.
burn
But,
if I had
you know,
seen it, but I can't justify that.
I feel like I would completely argue with you on that, but
what
I can't right now.
well, no, I'm not saying the New Mutants was better. Okay, I'm just saying it made more sense to me, coming at it from a non-Marvel point of view. Right. Whereas with Superman, I do have a fair bit of experience, having read a lot of Superman comics over the years. And I really enjoyed seeing a bad Superman. Yeah, like
You want a
because they don't do that in films. And it was nice
you
to
want a
have
good
it.
evil Superman? Go read Injustice.
I was just gonna say that. Or Superman Red Sun. That's another good one.
Oh God, too much
If
work.
if there was a way to adapt Injustice and do it right, that would be the greatest series of movies of all time.
But it gets back to something we all talked about before. Are we willing to do all the homework we need to do to prepare for the next phase of Marvel? Because the amount of crap you got to sit through.
I am.
I'm not.
You guys aren't.
I tried. I've been desperately trying, but I can't. I can't do it. There's so much crap you got to watch. It's like, oh my God, guys, can you not just make a decent film without having to spend, billions of dollars on TV shows to set up one movie?
But then how are you going to sell Disney Plus?
Yeah. Well, they could sell.
That's really why they're doing it. It's not about telling a good story. It's about selling the streaming service.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they know Marvel's about the only reason people are going to buy that. So.
Yeah. And you're not wrong. Right. It's probably one of the things that frustrates me the most is that from now on, right, and it stands for DC as well. From now on, if you don't watch every brutal, bitter second of every, Marvel TV show, the movies aren't going to make any sense to you. If you don't watch every second of Supergirl and Flash and, Gotham and, all this stuff, the movies aren't going to make any sense to you. And they don't.
Pretty sure 2 out of 3 of those you just listed are done now, but yeah.
No, but I mean, you've got to watch them. You've got to.
Not really. For DC, they're still pretty separated at this point.
Not anymore.
They're really starting to bring them together.
Yeah, that's changing quickly.
Oh, well, I'm behind then.
The rumor is, and I hope it's true, I really, really seriously hope this is true, that with Ezra Miller being such a twat, that they're probably going to bring Grant Gustin in.
They should have just done that to begin with. He's awesome.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
He's a great Flash. That Flash show rules. It's my favorite CW show, probably.
Yeah, I don't know why
I have to
they
catch
didn't.
up on it. But
I don't know why they didn't in the first place. I just don't. It baffles me to no end that they didn't bring him
I've also seen the name Elliot Page tossed around to replace Ezra Miller.
Elliot Page.
that probably wouldn't be terrible either.
Elliot Page
But I don't know.
could do it.
I'd still just go
The
Grant
talent
Gustin
is there. Just Elliot seems so physically tiny compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I think they just suggested him because of the similarities in the face.
Okay, that's fair. That's
That they could
entirely
sub
fair.
him in and claim it was the same person.
Yeah. I think.
Whereas if they brought in Grant Gustin, they'd have to come up with some excuse as to why he looks different.
I think the DC fans would be incredibly forgiving on that one particular situation.
I mean, I can't think of anyone that would complain about it.
No.
But
Well,
that's the only reason I've seen for them tossing around Elliot Page, because they look so similar.
yeah, because DC already is very conscious of the fact that this Flash movie is going to get destroyed before it ever gets played in theaters because of Ezra Miller's behavior. And justifiably so.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, this guy's proving to be an absolutely reprehensible little worm. And, it's just destroyed. What, they probably spent $100 million on this Flash movie? God only knows. And this pure loss.
it's kind of like the same thing, kind of going on with the Aquaman sequel too, because they got to figure out the Mara situation.
I do believe they've already got it figured out. I don't know for sure, but
I don't know. I barely keep up with DC stuff.
Well, they keep saying that Emilia Clarke is going to step in and take over.
I guess that's pretty fair.
Yeah, she's got the acting chops. She, 10 years of Game of Thrones and that one god awful Terminator movie. Right, but I mean, she's certainly got the ability to step in and do personally, I think, a much better job than what's her face.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
cares?
I think Amber Heard is a pretty medium actress at the beginning. Anyway,
She's not a good actress. She's just not.
No,
She's pretty, and that's it.
I'd much rather watch Emilia Clarke, even if there wasn't problems with her.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think Emilia Clarke, if that is in fact a true, not just a rumor, I think Emilia Clarke's a fantastic choice to step in and play Mira. Right. Whether she does or not, I don't know. But I mean, DC's looking at just a bucket load of reshoots to get rid of Amber, get rid of Ezra, and I don't know that they can afford to do it.
Yeah, getting rid of Ezra is almost impossible because he's the main character in that movie.
Yeah, and I mean, what are they going to do? To put it in theaters and just pray everybody forgives them for doing that?
They'd almost have to just start from scratch.
Yeah, just write it off.
There's an opening message like, they might have to put an open message at the beginning of the film like, sorry guys, we already had this all filmed.
We understand this guy is a cunt, but we already finished the movie before that came out.
Yeah, and
that might be legitimately what they have to do with that at this point.
Well, I can almost see them doing it.
I think they'd still die in the theaters. I know I wouldn't pay money to go watch them.
I think it's going to die no matter what.
Even if they apologized ahead of time and explained the situation, like I'd understand why they still released the movie.
But I wouldn't go watch it. No, I wouldn't either. It's one of the things that I think they put themselves in a really bad spot. It's not their fault.
They should probably just scrap it at this point.
Yeah, it's like take the loss, come out with a different movie, push Cyborg forward, let that play out. Putting in Emilia Clarke into Aquaman probably would cost substantially less, so they can get that going and get that done. Right, and just take the Flash movie and throw it in the toilet. Just pretend it didn't happen. I mean, what else are they going to do? You can't
release it and lose money on it anyway.
You can't release it. God.
Yeah, they'd lose money and get bad press as opposed to just losing money.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They're coming off a reasonably decent run of DC films with Batman, Joker. There was a really positive...
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad was great. Snyder's Justice League wasn't bad. Wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't horrible.
But it's a Snyder movie, so what do you expect?
Well, yeah, to be fair, yeah.
I'm a little skeptical about Joker 2, I'll be honest.
Oh, I'm really not looking forward to this. Oh my God,
I can't wait if those rumors are true. I'm excited.
What rumors? It's going to be a musical?
Yeah, it's going to be a musical.
Oh my God!
I hope it is, and I hope Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. I fucking want that now.
No,
I want it so bad.
I do not want Lady Gaga.
I want
as
so
Harley
bad.
Quinn.
Lady Gaga's
no
fantastic.
Lady Gaga is
I love
Quinn.
A Star Is Born.
Oh,
she's good.
Yeah,
but she's not Harley.
She's not. She's
completely not Harley.
Yeah, Margot Robbie spent the last 5 years perfecting.
Oh, I agree. Margot
Harley.
Robbie is perfect as Harley.
Right.
Even if they cast someone else, it shouldn't be Lady Gaga.
You know what? Pull Kaylee Cuoco out of the animated series and have her play Harley. Right, because she's brilliant in the animated series. Absolutely freaking brilliant. The Harley.
The only reason
series.
I could see them casting Gaga is they want someone who can sing because they're doing it as a musical.
Oh God, just shoot me now.
That's
put a bullet in my head. Oh my God. Hasn't DC had enough tragedy, enough pain? Have they not inflicted that pain upon the world over and over and over? What was the best thing to come?
They've atoned for Wonder Woman 84 by now, Dan.
They have not atoned for George Clooney as Batman. And until I get an official
and we'll
written
talk more
apology
about that next month. No.
for George Clooney as fucking Batman from DC, handwritten in blood, I will not forgive them.
George Clooney's blood specifically.
Specifically Clooney's blood. Come on, DC.
Oh shit!
Step the hell up, bastards.
Oh
God, I
my
will never
God.
forgive them for that. I just won't.
It-
Or although to be fair,
we triggered something.
Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face. What the fuck were they smoking? Seriously?
My God.
Oh my God. Ah. Anyway, no, to get back to what we were talking about, I totally concede to everything you guys said. There's a lot of things about... Shut up. I'm talking.
Back to 20 minutes ago.
Back to 20 minutes ago, because we're so far off topic right now. I don't disagree with a lot of what you guys said about Brightburn. You know, it's not that you're wrong. I just don't think that they were as big a deal as you guys tend to make them. But again, very different perspectives on the film, very different perspectives.
There's
going
also a lot
in.
of people that agree with us, though.
There's a lot of people that agree with me too. What's your point?
I mean, I think my rating is going to perfectly reflect that.
Well, that's where I want to go.
Do you want to go?
But first
do you want to
off,
go there?
Hold up.
Okay.
Just hold up.
Okay.
I want to say first.
Okay.
So we have some comparisons here.
Yes.
This movie had a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb, which is the highest rating it's gotten on these free sites we're going to mention.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, 57%, and a 44 out of 100 on Metacritic. So now, Dan, what's your rating?
Out of 10,
Yes.
I gave it a 6.
Wow, I thought you were going to go higher.
No.
So did I, actually. Matt, you were defending that movie.
I thought you were going to give it. I thought you were going to give it an 8.
No, I couldn't. There are a number of things about the film that took points
Why did you
away.
defend it so hard, you fucker?
You're only 1 point off me.
What the fuck?
What? Because I like
What's
the
wrong
film.
with you?
I like the film. I do.
Jeez.
You did not defend that like it was a 6.
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
Because I'm a 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going 4.
Oh, Ryan.
Nice.
But no, it's a good hard 6. I don't.
No, I'll say this: if you turn your brain off and just watch it to have fun, I would go as far as 8 out of 10.
Really.
It's fun
But
if
you
you don't
said it
think
wasn't
about what's
fun.
happening. No, I said I enjoyed it.
No, I said it wasn't fun.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my mistake. You're right, Ryan. It was
I
Billy.
see.
Even if I
I
turned
said-
my brain off, I don't think I could get it above a 6.
I said I said I enjoyed it, but I think it failed in execution of what it was trying to do. So that's why
Okay, yeah.
if I turn my brain off, I could be willing to give it as high as an 8. I mean, I was laughing for like the first 30, 45 minutes of it, so...
Yeah, I think they accomplished what
I
they
got
set out.
bored and started booking wrestling because it was so
Wow.
dull.
I think they accomplished what they set out to do. They just didn't do as good a job as they could have. There were things about it I liked. There were things about it that disappointed me. The father's story arc being the primary one. I really did not like the father or his story arc.
I didn't mind him as
Bugged
much
me.
as you did.
It bugged me. Right? And, everybody else, okay, it was fun.
The father trying to shoot him does essentially end up getting the mother killed because
Yes.
now Brandon expects the turn
Yeah.
for her to try to kill him. So.
Yeah. You're right.
It's a shame she didn't tell him about the metal off the ship, like
Yeah, it could have made
being
a
the
bullet
thing that
out of
cut
it.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Or it's a shame they didn't destroy the ship so it couldn't talk to Brandon. But
Yeah.
they didn't know it would talk to Brandon, so
Yeah, I can't really fault them for that decision because predicting that the ship is randomly going to activate your kid and turn him into like a weapon 10 years
That's
down
too
the road
Yeah.
is a little bit of a stretch. I
Yeah.
could see them getting rid of the ship if they took it to the dump or something, but I couldn't see them destroying it for no reason.
Yeah, nor can I.
that could be a plot point in a sequel if it ever happened, which it's not going to happen at this point. They didn't.
Oh no, the
it
ship
didn't
is
do.
destroyed. They've established the ship is destroyed.
Yeah, or I believe they did establish that because in the
That's why he
end,
crashed a plane on the farm
Yeah.
to destroy the ship.
he crashed the plane on the farm and it destroyed everything, including
So
the
then he's
ship.
just completely he completely has accepted his role at that
Yeah,
point.
he
then.
cannot be killed anymore.
No,
He's
it's
destroyed the one
impossible.
thing that could kill him.
Yeah. So it's the end of the world, basically. Right.
Well, I mean, it ended off to left you with that impression, like, well, I guess this little shit's in charge of the world now, essentially.
Yeah, they rather effectively closed the door to the extent that if they ever tried a sequel, it would be really hard to justify adding any sort of dramatic stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty. I don't know.
I went 6. You went what? You went.
Bill went 5 and I
you
went 4. I said I was probably going to shock you guys with the lowest rating.
No, you know what, Ryan? I'm not surprised that you went low on it. I'm not.
And I still enjoyed it, but I can't give it too high a rating.
Yeah.
Based on what it was trying to be.
Yeah. Honestly, based on how I rate movies, it got a higher rating than any of the first 3 Spider-Mans. For me.
Fuck off.
No, seriously, the best rating I could give was the first Spider-Man with Tobey was 5.5. I'm sorry.
God.
Right, but I mean, I gave Endgame an 8.
Well, good.
Right, and I thought I was being really generous.
I don't know what to say to that.
I was being really, really generous on that one, and most of that was being given to them simply for the incredible amount of work they put into it.
This is why we say you have bad taste when it comes to comic book related stuff.
Oh, really?
Superhero stuff.
What? Because I gave Endgame an 8?
No, just in general. You gave. Just fuck off.
Why did you give Spider-Man a 5?
What?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Well, that's a whole different conversation, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, we're going to have to do that at some point.
We'll have to tackle
I
the
need to hear
Spider-Mans
justifications for how the fuck the first Spider-Man movie was only a 5.5.
And then, like, how Spider-Man 2 wasn't the highest out of them either, or whatever.
Well, he didn't say that.
He said his highest rated Spider-Man of the first 3 was the first one at 5.5.
Yep.
That's exactly what he said.
Oh, okay, I misheard that.
Yep.
That's why I just...
Yeah.
Yeah, how wasn't Spider-Man 2 higher?
Because he's a Green Goblin, Mark. Fucker.
Yeah, okay. Don't pick on the Goblin. I love the Green Goblin. He's my favorite bad guy.
That's definitely why it's the fucking highest one out of the 3.
Never mind. We're not going to have that conversation now.
You don't like Doc Ock as much.
Oh, Dr. Octavius
I like Goblin more than Doc
Octopus,
Ock
or whatever
too,
the hell he is. What's his name? Octavius Octopus?
Otto Octavius.
Otto Octavius. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Stanley.
I like Green Goblin
You're the
more
worst.
than Doc Ock too, but I have to admit that Spider-Man 2 was the better movie.
Okay.
This is going to have to be a future episode. I need to hear why Dan feels this way.
Okay, let's close this off by giving everybody a heads up that the next thing we are going to start talking about as far as movies go is we're going to start talking about who is the best Batman.
Fuck.
Michael Keaton, Adam West, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck. There's a whole bunch of them out there. George Clooney.
Val Kilmer.
We can just skip George Clooney on the list. He's not getting it.
Let's just concede right now that he's at the bottom of the goddamn list. Okay.
Yeah, George Clooney's not getting it.
He's not winning.
Spoilers for next month.
Right. He's just not going to win. It doesn't matter. The guy who played Batman in the Scooby-Doo meets Batman was better. Okay, but anyway, that's what's coming up next time we decide to sit down and talk about something movie related. We're going to hash out who we each think the best actor to play Batman was off the live action movies. We're not going to deal with the animated ones, and we're not going to deal with the TV shows. We're just going to talk about the live action films. So, now that you guys have just torn my hopes and dreams to shreds and thrown them on the floor and stepped all over them, I guess I'm just going to go eat a cookie or something.
I'd like to think I shat on them too a bit. But...
You did piddle on them a little bit. you might want to think about, eating more oatmeal.
Kind of like a nervous dog, just
squirt
doesn't know exactly what to do.
Yeah. It's terrible, really. But thank you everybody for listening. This was kind of fun. I think.
I'm sure there'll be more occasions where Dan gets to have more fun because he's going to be more on the right. So we'll have.
Not with you two. Not with you two. I'm always going to be in the wrong.
Not necessarily.
You were right about 30 Days of Night last time.
You and Bill get to team up with me a lot too. It's Bill's the one that's like always safe. Bill gets to team up with somebody.
Okay, that's fair.
Every time.
So Bill,
it's you and I that have miserable times. Bill gets to have the most fun.
That's because I have good taste.
Yeah. You have probably the most consistent taste, at least.
Oh boy.
You have the most consistent taste.
Hey, he picked us for friends. He's got great taste.
Well,
what? No. Well, sorry,
debatable.
Bill. Sorry, Bill. You have terrible taste in friends.
I mean, I do make mistakes sometimes.
We notice you. No, I'm not going there. I'm not. Not this time. That's for another conversation. But at least you liked Venom. You liked Venom, so I forgive you for your transgressions this week. For you, Ryan, there's no hope for you. Unredeemable. Just completely unredeemable. You're going to burn in heck.
Yeah. Speaking of better evil Superman's Irredeemable, the Image comic. Go check that out. No.
Really? Go check out the Berserker manga. Go check out the Berserker manga. Trust me.
Magna, my favorite Walking Dead character.
Yeah. But yeah, no. People want something to read that's slightly Brightburn oriented. Go read the Berserker manga. Just so you know. Because there are some direct relations to Brightburn in that manga.
Anyways, no, we're gonna cut ourselves off here. We will see you all next month for another one of these Crew 616 Choose On. We already mentioned it's gonna be all about Batman.
Yay!
Woo! So we will see you back here sometime in August. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. Go back and watch the 30 Days and Nights episode if you did not. And we will see you all next time, and peace out.
Yeah, if you did enjoy it,
Have a
fuck
good
it
one.
off. Bye-bye.